long way to go. Maybe not at the top of the draft class, but I think there's a real future at the major league level for this player. I have Hall of Fame outfielder Ken Griffey Jr. with me today. Ken, what advice would you give this player who might not be considered a sure thing to make it? What would you tell them as they begin their professional journey?
Yeah, I mean, you have an opportunity. Anytime you have an opportunity to impress somebody, to go out there and do something, then you can do it. And they don't care, who you are, what round, what this, what that. They just want you to go out there and play. And if you can perform day in and day out, you will be in the big leagues.
With the MLB draft already underway, a young prospect shares his expectations with a former coach.
Uh-oh. Drop my phone. Do, 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 do. Oh, for the club that wants me the most. There are a couple times. Not really, but I know what type of club I'd like to play for. No favorite you're pinning your hopes on?
Carlos, you lived that in your baseball career. What's this world like?
Oh, it's extremely
Let's
exciting.
go.
You know that if you perform, you will get the call.
Let's go.
We've got a developing story here. JP,
Let's
what are you hearing?
go.
I'm checking the numbers. I'm talking to my sources, my scouts,
Let's
and they're
go,
all
let's
telling me,
go.
hey, this
Come on,
could
come on.
actually work.
Most of us mere mortals, when we were that age, we were barely chewing gum and walking at the same time, let alone playing the hardest game there is.
Let's see if he's
Let's go,
tough enough
let's
mentally
go.
here to adapt. That's what good players do.
That dream of getting the big leagues is now becoming reality with that one phone call.
Let's go. Come on. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. If it couldn't be the Dodgers, I would have
Are you kidding
loved
me?
to take the
This is
Yankees.
who we are drafting? You must be crazy. He is a career minor leaguer. He's not a major league player. We wasted a draft pick, a high one at that. Here, this is why we don't win. This is a terrible, terrible pick. Oh, my goodness gracious. Come on, fellas. Do your work. Do some research. Awful, awful selection. I hate this pick.
Haters are motivators. Looking nice. Let's play.
We're talking about one of my favorite picks in this year's MLB Amateur Draft, and I'm joined by mental performance coach Kellen Lee. Kellen, what have you heard about this particular prospect?
You know, when you sent over the list of people we're going to talk about, I had to do some extra research on this one. This is a guy that I, flew under the radar, and I really wasn't as familiar with. But after doing a little bit more research, talked to some coaches, talked to the people that know him personally, it sounds like he's got some really strong intangibles. Sounds like he was a great teammate as an amateur player. And I would imagine that the organization perhaps did their homework a little bit and found out a little bit about him that other teams didn't, because it sounds like he brings a lot to the table on the mental side of the game.
And as Yogi Berra famously said, baseball is 90% mental, the other half is physical. Now, math on that aside, Kellen, how much has baseball emphasized mental toughness, mental development in recent years?
Yeah, there's been a huge shift in a lot of the organizations and players are turning to the mental side of the game to be just a regular part of player development, all the way from the minor leagues all the way up to the major leagues. Some of those mental performance skills include building confidence, establishing routines, setting really effective goals, maintaining motivation, visualization. The sky's the limit. But really what we know is that a really solid mental game allows these players to tap into their physical game more consistently.
Let's go. Let's go.
Live from Main Street Field, opening day 2022 on MLB The Show. It's the Tulsa Drillers and the Wichita Wind Surge.
And now,
first pitch coming at you right after the break.
It'd be cool to play for the Savannah Bananas because they're, I don't know if you guys know them, but go check them out.
All right, just about set to go and getting to start. Randy Dobnak. What do we need to know here?
Well, the key for him usually centers around his ability to command all 4 of his pitches. I mean, he can get by with 3 if one isn't working, but it becomes a little tougher to keep hitters guessing, especially when you start to get through the second and third time through the order. So we'll see how he incorporates all of his stuff into this one.
Bottom of the first, here's a speed threat, John Andrioli.
Hit it.
That's a bullet, but it goes foul.
We're up by 3. Let's not blow this.
And the 0-1.
Come on.
And a good eye there.
They're off to a great start, 3-run lead after their first inning, but so important to be airtight defensively. Don't give away extra outs and allow that other club to get back in this ballgame.
Next pitch off the plate, and it's 2-1.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we got nobody.
You can also gain friendship with your teammates and rivalry with opponents.
Late on that fastball.
Let's go ahead and get this boy out.
Swing and a miss. The velocity blasted it right past him. So there's his first strikeout in Double-A. And he's hoping that's the type of stuff that can get him to the big leagues.
And one of the keys for pitchers at this level is being aggressive. You know, Double-A, they say, is a springboard to the big leagues. So showing that you're not afraid to go after guys, throw strikes, get punch outs. If he can do that down here in the minors, he'll move up the ladder in no time.
When the equipment's flashy.
Now the number 2 hitter, number 28.
Get ahead, stay ahead.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
And a pop-up, right side, foul territory. Takes it in for the out.
Batting third, the center fielder.
2 outs, base is empty. Gilberto Celestino, the next to hit.
Let's get this one out.
On the ground, right side, dives, and he can't hang on. That leaves him without a throw, and he reaches safely. Jimmy Kerrigan digs in now. First offering, and it just misses. Celestino leads off first with 2 down to the inning. Next offering is in for a strike. That's the third. Out with room to spare, and that's the inning.
Let's go.
Back here at the ballpark, down the third baseman, number 58.
Leading off for the Wind Surge, the third baseman, number 58.
The right-hander back to work. And first offering is fouled off. swing and a miss.
Look, it looked like that curveball backed up on him, and although it's a mistake, it works out really good for the pitcher. The hitter's timed it up, expects it to be to a certain spot, and it just doesn't get there.
The next pitch misses, and the count 1-2.
Hey, get him yourself. Strike him out right now.
I got it.
Here's a rocket out to left. 1 away.
Batting 6, the left fielder.
Now the left fielder, number 4.
Hey, plays it first. Plays it first.
In there for strike 1.
I need some music. I need some music.
Yeah, we got one out here.
And a foul ball. And down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down.
That right there will drive you crazy as a hitter. That pitch has no business being called a strike. It's definitely not what the pitcher was trying to do with the curveball in any count, let alone a 2-strike count. So the umpire right there, he's just rewarding a bad pitch.
So 2 down now, and here is Alaric Solari. Hit pretty well in the air out to center.
Get it.
Martin
Get to
settles
it.
under it, squeezes
go.
it, and that ends the inning. Welcome back. Now, Will Holland. The wind surge in striking distance, but have some work to do.
Boog, it starts with the leadoff man. Need a good at-bat out of him right here.
The wind of the pitch. Ball 1 there. And a pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. The pitch. Liner to second and picked on the hop. On to first. Leadoff man retired here in the 3rd.
Batting 9, the catcher, number 1.
Now the catcher up to hit, number 1. First pitch, and that's in for a strike. Kicks and fires. That to right.
Get to it.
Pajes makes the play. 2 away.
The right fielder, number 2, John.
Digging in, it's the speedy outfielder, John Andreoli. 0 for 1. He struck out swinging last time. In there, and it's 0-1.
Out of my life.
He swings and fouls one off. Cut on and miss. Struck him out. And good work there as he gets a 1-2-3. Bottom 4, and now the first baseman, number 28.
Leading off for the wind surge,
The wind to kick the pitch.
number 28.
And first offering is fouled off. The wind and the pitch. Fouled off down the right side. And it's fouled away. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit.
2-2-2.
Just kept it simple. Played pepper with the middle of the infield and took it back where it came from, and there's just no one there to knock it down. And you can feel this crowd waking up a bit here as the guys are starting to make some noise with their bats.
That one hammered, but pulled foul.
All right, come on now.
At the belt and fires. On the ground to third, might be two. To second, there's one, and it's a double play.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Jimmy Kerrigan.
2 outs, base is empty. Now it's the DH, Jimmy Kerrigan. He's 0 for 1. First pitch just misses. Two outs. Swing and a miss. Now 1-2. The pitch. High fly ball out into left center field. Martin gets under it. Puts the squeeze on that one, and that'll end the inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Here's the third baseman, number 58.
Leading off for the Wizards, the third baseman, number 58.
The pitch. Tapped up the first base side. Yurchek gloves it. He takes it on his own. 1 up, 1 down.
Well, he's doing a nice job of keeping the ball out of the air. Lets the defense work behind him with another ground ball. Good execution.
So digging in, number 4. That one's in there, 0-1.
These hitters are going to have to find a way to be a little more patient, see more pitches per at bat. Otherwise, that bullpen's not going to have to work over there, and it's going to be advantage pitching all game long.
Field 2. Swing and a ball lifted left field. Makes the grab. 2 down.
Just pulled off of it a little bit right there. That front shoulder coming open instead of staying closed. If he does that, he's going to be able to go up the middle the other way with some authority instead of a fly out to left.
Alaric Solari getting ready to hit. 0 for 1 with a fly out. First pitch, and he just misses.
2 outs here, 2 outs here.
Kicks and deals. Bounced up the middle. Gloves it on the dive to first. On the money. Nice play.
That was a great job of doing the math. He had the perfect angle. Diving stop completes the play, and that ends the inning.
And welcome back. And the batter will be the shortstop, Will Holland.
Leading off for the Wizards,
And he
the
deals.
shortstop, Will.
And a foul ball.
Well, every pitcher wants a run support, and having a lead is nice, but it can be challenging for some guys. I think keeping the mindset to attack instead of trying to be too fine and have too much finesse. Go after hitters and get quick outs.
And a pitch. Swings and misses. So he's gotten deep into this game, and at least so far, not showing a ton of signs of fatigue. Number one now at the plate.
1 down, 1 down. Up.
This one popped up. Foul ground, first base side. No trouble here. Puts it away for the out. And there's 2 down.
The right fielder, number 2, John Andreoli.
So the batting order turns over. Now it's the right fielder, John Andreoli. Fly ball down the line. Pajes under it. Makes the play, and it's out number 3. Bottom of the 7th. And here's the first baseman, number 28.
Leading off for the win surge, the first baseman.
Here comes a pitch.
Number 28.
Swing and a miss as he was out front. The pitch. Swing and a miss.
0-2.
And 1-2.
Well, that's kind of what you expect in an 0-2 count. Excellent job of the hitter to have the plate discipline to lay off of that pitch.
The 1-2. Swing and a ball lifted in the air, left field, pretty well struck, and it's off the wall.
Come on, guys, come on.
Safe at second with a leadoff double.
Well, he found himself behind in the count right there, but he didn't give in. Off-speed pitch on the inside part of the plate. He turned on it nicely down the line. Nice job to not spin off of it and pull that thing foul.
The 1-0. Fouled off. He was late. No outs. Runner on second. Next pitch misses. 2-1.
Well, here's a good opportunity in this inning to get on the scoreboard after that leadoff hit, and hardly order coming up right behind them. This is where they need to get going.
Line drive caught.
Not.
Now batting, the designated hitter.
And next is the designated hitter, Jimmy Kerrigan. Right side, Burns picks it up, gathers, and throws to first. And he's out.
The batter, number
Now the
58.
third baseman, number 58.
You
got two down.
Swing and a miss. And a count even at 1. Left-hand batter waits. Number 28 at third with 2 away. Slap the other way, foul. That one pushed foul, out of play off to the left. Next pitch is popped up. Brings it in for the third out. This one pretty well decided at this point. Back here at the ballpark, here's the left fielder, number 4. He's someone that you might not describe as having elite level speed, but he can absolutely move, and it is a factor in his game. And first offering is fouled off. And now the 0-1. Smash down the left field line. And there's one away.
Man, that's one of those at-bats where you have to remind yourself it's about the process. He did everything right there. Nothing to show for it. But in your mind, you have to convince yourself that it was a very good at-bat.
Now it's the second baseman, Alaric Solari. In there for strike 1.
0-1's the count.
The wind of the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. And the righty deals. And a foul ball, he stays alive. And a swing and a miss. And there are 2 down.
I got to think that was the plan all the way. He set him up with the high fastball and then bury that curveball down low to get him swinging. Now, especially with how effective pitchers work up in the zone these days, that's a devastating combination.
2 outs, base is empty. And now Will Holland. And that's in there for strike 1. Righty delivers. And he pumps it a strike. Lined, and that's a base hit.
Well, that certainly feels good when you can win the at-bat after being down in the count, up against it with 2 strikes right there. That's about as textbook as it gets. Got his stride and load out of the way early. He stayed inside that ball and squared it up out front. Man, that was like he was in the cage hitting off a tee.
Righty to the plate. Swings here and blasts one left field. That one's carrying. And gone! So he leaves the yard to left, and they cut into the deficit. It's 6-2. And stepping in is the speedy John Andrioli for the 4th time tonight. First pitch, and that's in for a strike.
Hey, it plays at 1 now.
Now 1-1.
Hey, 2 outs here, 2 outs.
The 1-1. Swings through that one out in front that time. This one high in the air to left center. Martin ranging into the alley. Pulls it down and he makes the catch. And that is that. Carson Fulmer on to pitch out of the pen here. And he's got a nice lead to work with.
It's always nice to grab the opener of a series. You come into a new ballpark and just sometimes things aren't as comfortable as what you've been used to. The mound doesn't look straight. The background isn't what you like, but they didn't let any of those things distract them. In fact, they looked like they were playing a home game. Excellent job to set the tone for this series.
Entire crew.
A minor league pitching coach offers advice to a new member of his staff.
He's getting some great results as a pitcher early on in his career, and it seems like a lot of folks around the game are taking notice. Jim Callis of MLB Pipeline joins me. Jim, what do you make of his work on the mound so far?
It's been very impressive. I mean, we always knew this guy had arm strength, but he needed to refine it, and we're seeing that. You know, this is a guy who, he's not just throwing the fastball. He can throw multiple pitches. His secondary pitches have gotten better. He's throwing them for strikes, and not just strikes, but quality strikes. He's putting the ball where he wants in the strike zone. So it's been very impressive. You know, and you can sometimes see, you know, when you're watching prospects in the minors, pitchers in the minors, the guys who are really dialed in, their team loves playing behind them. The defenders are, you know, engaged. This guy's throwing strikes. The game's moving quickly. They're having success, and you can see that with this guy.
And to your point about him not relying on the fastball, it seems like Double-A, as we know, it's where a lot of the elite breaking balls emerge, guys with great sliders, curveballs, even the changeup. You know, this is where you really start to see those come into play. I think that's really been to his benefit.
Yeah, Double-A is really a proving ground, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not just quality of stuff. I mean, obviously, you have to have quality stuff as a pitcher to get to Double-A. But if you can't locate it, you're going to get exposed. You know, you've got to be able not just be able to throw a curve, but, you know, if it sometimes breaks so much the guys aren't going to swing at it, you got to be able to drop it in the strike zone. And you can throw guys off with a changeup. But, again, if they know it's not going to finish in the strike zone, they're not going to swing at it. And this guy really has it going.
Well done. She got nerve.
It wasn't a perfect outing for him on the bump the last time out. He did take the loss, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. I'm joined by MLB Network analyst Ron Darling. And
I'm ready to
Ron,
go to the
for
majors.
the pitcher, there is a temptation to get inside your own head after a loss.
This
How do
is
you make sure
double A.
that one bad start doesn't turn into a skid?
Listen, no one wants to lose, but those things will happen to anyone at any age. I remember after 2 or 3 bad starts in the major leagues, I asked my pitching coach, what am I doing wrong? He said, you're not doing anything wrong. The other team is trying too. And I think that's a good thing to keep in perspective, is just work on your craft, get better at your craft, be more consistent, that every single time you go out there, you're at your best version of yourself. And after that, just let it fly.
A player new to his Double-A squad gets a tip from one of his coaches.
In the professional ranks, players have to develop not just on the field, but in the weight room.
Let's go.
For so many prospects, they come in and they have areas of their game that need significant work, whether it's contact, as you noted, or fielding. There's always something that can be tweaked and improved. What was the day that you realized, oh, there's something that I want to add, something that I need to really develop?
Well, you want to develop everything. I'll give you my draft day. I got drafted, and then I flew to Atlanta, and I actually went out and worked with a Hall of Fame first baseman who used to be an outfielder for a couple hours, Willie Stargell, and I don't know. And from that footwork, it carried me through my career. And most people know him as a first baseman, but, you know, he played outfield before that. So it was just 2 hours of, I could say, torture, but, you know, 22 years of greatness.
Post-draft workout with Pops, hard to beat that. There's so many different ways for a pitcher to succeed.
Did I hear bust anybody? Let's reset the button here and lower some expectations. I know it's early, but this kid's done...
A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
Improving your reaction time in the field can take you from defensive liability to game changer. 2008 Gold Glove Award winner Carlos Pena joins me. Carlos, what are some ways to improve? It's important for pitchers early on in their development to realize that no matter how hard you throw, if you can't change speeds effectively, you will not have success at the top levels of the sport. Bringing in now 1985 National League All-Star and MLB Network analyst Ron Darling. Ron, what's the importance of changing speeds effectively for a pitcher when they're on the mound?
I remember I was always taught as a kid, work fast, change speeds, throw strikes. That sounds really easy, but it is not. And I think the most important thing, though, as you get over the course of time, there are a lot of guys who can throw hard. But to be able to change speeds upsets the timing of the hitter, and that's where the gold is.
And in recent years, with the rise of pitch tunneling as a research phenomenon, pitchers who can change speeds while keeping that same arm slot and keeping the ball coming in at the same angle, they just become devastatingly effective.
You want to get to a point where every pitch you throw comes from the same arm angle so that the hitter cannot pick up any kind of give that you have in your motion that might relay to them what pitch is coming. That has always been the key. So if you can throw 3 pitches from the same spot at 3 different speeds, they have no chance.
I'm trying to hurry up and get to the majors.
This
Let's
minor
go.
league team is reminded that the eyes of the organization are keeping
Ron,
tabs.
before we took a break, you were talking about the importance of pitch sequencing for pitchers. How does that work? Why is it so critical?
Well, in today's game, there is so much that the opposition knows about a certain pitcher, what pitches he throws, the percentage of times that he throws it. So what you do with pitch sequencing is that as a pitcher, you're trying to upset that apple cart of information that they have. And the better that you can change that sequencing to get hitters out, the better you'll be.
Of course, that wealth of research goes both ways, as we've seen the rise of the shift in recent years. And I have to think that knowing where your fielders are lined up behind you will affect your pitch sequencing as well.
You know, people always talk about productive out.
A pitcher is confronted with a less than stellar stat.
Let's go.
We're checking in on one of my diamond in the rough prospects.
Come on, bro. Hurry up.
For so many players from Latin American countries in particular who sign as international free agents or even through the draft, their transition to affiliated professional baseball can not just be a shift in terms of the game itself, but it can also come with a good amount of culture shock. I have minor league manager Rachel Balkovec with me. Rachel, what is that transition like for these players?
You know, it's really inspiring, and it's incredible to think how much they have to go through. And I think, you know, the casual fan doesn't understand there's an incredible journey that the Latin players go through. And I've been fortunate enough to work at the lower levels a lot of my career for the past 10 years. And for me personally, I've learned so much. I've learned more from the Latin American players than I have from our American players, to be honest with you. They've taught me so much about being vulnerable and learning a different language and how they're able to really assimilate and learn about our culture. It inspires me, and it should inspire other people also to learn about their culture and really embrace their culture in the game.
This manager is hoping to stoke the competitive fire of his pitchers. An agent needs to check in from time to time to make sure his client is happy with his situation. A savvy agent will engender confidence in his client, confidence that he has a world of possibilities at his fingertips. But the measure of a good agent is how well he can turn these possibilities into actuality.
Baseball players are notoriously a superstitious crowd. Kellen Lee with me. Kellen, we've talked before about normalizing routines to help drive success. What is the difference between routine and superstition?
Yeah, sometimes players use superstitions and routines interchangeably, but the important difference between a superstition and a routine is that a routine is something that we do to prepare for something in the future. A superstition is something that we feel like we have to do in order to be successful. And if we don't, we're not going to be successful. So I help them understand that and establish a routine to help them better prepare for a game or for whatever they're doing in the future.
Okay, so let's say that I'm a player in the organization who insists I cannot get a hit. I can't do it unless I am wearing batting gloves with the left glove a different color than the right glove. What do you say to that? How do you handle that as a coach?
Well, I'm sorry to say, I don't think we have enough time on the podcast to address that particular question. But at the end of the day, if a player comes to me with a similar conversation, I'll challenge them and ask them, is what you're doing actually helping you prepare to compete? And if the answer is yes, and they can honestly say yes, then great, that could be part of your routine. But if you feel like it's something you have to do to be successful, we might have a more...
A pitcher is encouraged to keep looking for improvement.
Our good daddies.
Welcome to Majestic Green Stadium. Some Double-A baseball coming at you. It's the Arkansas Travelers taking on the Tulsa Drillers. First pitch coming your way next. About to get started here. And today's starting pitcher, number 22. What do you got on him, Chris?
Well, just a 3-pitch mix in his arsenal, which, you know, it's not a lot for a starter. So always very important for him to have a good feel and command all three. Sometimes you can make that 3 look like 4 if you add or subtract a little bit of velocity on one. But, you know, one thing about it, it can be easy to get too predictable out there on the mound. So hitters are aware of that. Mixing those 3 pitches in all counts is going to be a big key for him in this one.
And here it comes. Number 5 swings through one there.
First pitch, 7:06.
Three.